It's on YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube. Oh, let me get my other camera. Peace, dude. What? On YouTube you can't hear it? Oh. Here, I just hooked up my other camera. Let's see. Cancel. Alright. Deactivate. Activate. Bam. Oh my god. Right? Dude, turn yours down a little bit in the background because I can hear your background. Let's see. Why? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Well, the American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country.
Okay.
210,000 dead people in our country
Uh-huh.
in the last several months.
That's people dead. That's real.
7 million people who have contracted the disease. 1 in 5 businesses are closed. We're looking at
Her hair looks rehearsed. Her hair ain't moving. That shit's got a lot of spray. Look at that shit. That's holding that form, son.
And here's the thing. On January 28th, the vice president and the president were informed about the nature of this pandemic. They were informed that it's lethal
Right?
in consequence, that it is airborne, that it will affect young people.
I'm just tired of them not being able to agree on whether it's airborne or not airborne.
And they knew what was happening and they didn't tell you. Can you imagine if you knew on January
Right? It's ridiculous.
as opposed to March 13th?
They knew a whole year ahead. Supposedly.
And they covered it up. The president said it was a hoax. They minimized
Right?
the seriousness of it. The
You
president
turn
said,
this shit
you're on
down.
one side of his ledger if you wear a mask, you're on the other side of his ledger if you don't. And in spite of all of that, today they still don't
Turn
have
her up a little bit. Can't hear her ass.
They still don't have a plan. Well, Joe Biden does. And our plan is about what we need to do around a national strategy for contact tracing, for testing, for administration of the vaccine, and making sure that it's free for all.
Hey.
That is the plan that Joe Biden has, that I have, knowing that we have to get a hold of what's going on, and we need to save our country. And Joe Biden is the best leader to do that, and frankly, this administration has forfeited their right to re-election based on this.
Thank you, Senator Harris.
Huh, that's a big ass plexiglass wall.
Have died of COVID-19 since February. The U.S. death toll as a percentage of our population is higher than that of almost every other wealthy nation on Earth. For instance, our death rate is 2.5 times that of Canada next door. You head the administration's coronavirus task force. Why is the U.S. death toll as a percentage of our population higher than that of almost every other wealthy country?
Right.
And you have 2 minutes to respond.
I mean, we should just shut shit down.
I want to thank the commission. and
There we go. Sorry about that. My cam was like,
Hosting this event, and Senator Harris, it's a privilege to be on the stage.
you guys watching the presidential election?
Mhm.
Well, not the vice presidential debate, but yeah, kind of like
But I want the American
the
people
big
to know.
the big thing that's going on.
The very first day, President Donald Trump has put the health of America.
Oh yeah.
Nah, we're good, bro. People tend to steer away from us when we're together, like, just because this is generally what we're doing.
President Donald Trump did what no other American president had ever done. And that was he suspended all
All right,
travel
man, you
from
too.
China, the second largest economy in the world.
Well, just
Now,
because he suspended
Senator
travel
Joe
from
Biden-
China, they
Biden
actually have done that
opposed
before.
that decision.
Chinese Exclusion Act.
He said it was xenophobic and hysterical. But I can tell you, having led the White House Coronavirus Task Force, that decision alone by President
I hate
Trump
that she's got this
brought us
condescending laughing
invaluable
smile on her
understanding of
face.
the greatest national
Well, he was doing the
organization
same shit
since
though.
World War
If
II.
you would have been looking what she was
And I
talking,
believe it
They're
saved
both-
he was like looking down like
thousands of
everything she was talking about was bullshit.
Because with that time, we were able to limit that testing. More than 115 million tests have been done to date. We were able to see to the delivery
But
of
all I'm saying is, if
billions
we
of supplies so
honestly, I
doctors and
think it'd be a
nurses had the
completely different
resources
election if we
support
just
they needed.
switched. Like
And
this
we
debate is what I
began
wanted the
really
first one to
before
be.
the month of February
Right.
Art, to develop
They're not talking
vaccines
over each other,
and to
just
develop
sitting
medicines
and talking.
therapeutics have been saving lives all along the way. And under President Trump's leadership, Operation
Like-
Warp Speed, we
Like
believe we'll have
if Pence was running for
literally tens of
president
millions
and
of
Trump
doses
was
of
his
vaccine
fucking
before the end of this year.
Ooh,
Like,
that would be
you know,
horrible. He would
Society
lose
needs
automatically.
an awful lot.
I mean,
Like what
maybe.
President Trump
Nah,
and
he
I
would
are
lose
doing
automatically.
every step
Mike Pence is a
of the way.
retard. That nigga
Quite
doesn't know
frankly,
shit.
When I look at their plan,
I'm
it
just
talks
saying, bro.
about
I like Pence
advancing
much more
testing,
more than I like
creating
Trump. Is
new
all I'm saying.
PPE, developing a
I
vaccine.
mean, it's easy to like someone that doesn't do anything.
It looks a little bit like
Okay,
Which is something
okay,
Joe
watch
Biden
yourself.
knows
That's
a
my
little
old
bit
governor
about.
you're talking about.
I think
Okay.
the American people
Right,
know
and he,
I'm
like
a never
the
Trumper.
president
I don't
who
want him to
puts
be
the
vice
vote of
president
America
again.
first and the
But
American people.
that's
I believe
cool
he's
and all, but
he
like
did
Thank you.
good things to Indiana. Let's be honest.
I'm a black man first, and I'm not about to keep giving my vote away. And sooner or later they gonna have to learn.
That's what the Vice President and the administration has done. Clearly, it hasn't worked.
Well, I
We're
mean,
looking
I ain't
at over
giving.
210,000
I'm not
dead
voting for
bodies
Trump.
in our country.
I know.
American
What I'm
lives
saying is that until they give
that
me
have been
policy,
lost, families that are grieving that loss. And you know, the vice president is the head of the
Oh.
task force
Okay, well,
and
there
knew
goes.
on January 28th how serious this was. And then, thanks to Bob Woodward, we learned that they knew about it. And then when that was exposed,
I wonder how he's gonna counteract that. Like you have the president
Well, why
talking
don't
on the
tell
record.
anybody? He said because the president wanted people to remain calm.
Well, let's go
Okay.
ahead.
No, but Susan, this is
That's
important.
not
And I
okay.
want to add,
Weigh
but
in
if,
here.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I have to
I'm
weigh in.
speaking.
Yeah, you
So
can have
I
15 more
wanna-
seconds, and then we'll give the vice president.
you.
So,
I wanna
do
ask
they
you
give
now,
you like
how calm
time
were
when
you
they
when panicked
interrupt
about where
you?
You're going to get your next roll of toilet paper. How
I don't
calm
know,
were
man.
you when your kids were sent home from school and you didn't know when they could go back? How calm
Thank
were
you.
you
Thank
when
you,
your
Senator
children
Harris.
couldn't see your parents because you were afraid they could kill them?
Let's give Vice President Pence a chance to
Oh,
respond.
whoa,
Vice
whoa,
President
whoa,
Pence, you have
whoa.
1 minute to respond.
Right? Please stop talking.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
She was like, I'm a flex.
Will always be in our hearts and in our prayers.
Oh God, not hearts and prayers, bro.
People have done over these last 8 months.
That's your governor.
Worked. That's a great disservice.
I mean, look.
Hearts and prayers really keep you alive, don't they?
The reality, if I may
I
finish,
mean, look.
Senator,
They got up
the
here as a
reality
unit,
is,
though.
Dr. Fauci said.
I think it'd be
everything that
different if
told
he
the
was in
president
charge.
in the
I
Oval
honestly
Office, the
do.
president
But
told the American people.
he's got to
Now, President
echo
Trump, I will
Trump's
tell you, has
statements.
boundless
He's
confidence
got
in the American
he's
people,
got
and he
to
always
he's
spoke
got
with
to echo
confidence that we
those
could pull this
same
together.
that
But
those
when
same
you say it
positions. If
hasn't
they appear
worked,
divided, they're
When
never
Dr.
gonna work.
Fauci and Dr. Brooks
Yeah.
and our medical experts came to us in the
Since
second
Trump
week
is
of
so
March,
public and
they
so
said if the president didn't take the unprecedented step
like
of
everything he
shutting
says
down
is
roughly
headline
half of the
news.
American
So
economy,
like,
that we could lose 2.2 million Americans. Now, that's the reality.
Thank you.
They also
Thank you,
said
Vice
to us if we
President
did everything right, Susan, we could still lose more than 200,000.
So far, he's not giving me a reason. He doesn't counteract anything she says.
But the American people, I
because he
believe,
doesn't have
deserve
any
credit
reasons, okay?
for the sacrifices.
And I believe he knows that
made
he's
for
losing the
health
losing.
of the neighbors first, our doctors,
Yeah, I know I'm gonna lose this battle.
He really ain't got a
and I'm going to
fucking
speak up on
flag to
behalf of what
stand
the
on,
American
but
people have done.
Vice President Pence, you were in the front row in a Rose Garden event 11 days ago at what seems to have been a super spreader.
Super spreader event.
No social distancing, few masks, and now a cluster of.
Nigga, I got a mask right here on my desk.
what about all the fucking rallies?
The administration's safety guidelines to protect themselves from COVID, when you at the White House have not been doing so.
Right? Why don't you put on a mask, my dude?
Have demonstrated over the last 8 months that when given the facts, they're willing to put the health of their families and their neighbors and people they don't
Nigga, you haven't given us facts.
President Trump and I have great confidence in the American people.
What's up, Gluck?
And their
What's up,
ability
bro?
to take that information
We're making a
and put it
video.
into practice. In the height of the epidemic, when we were losing
If you want to tune in, it's at
heartbreaking
youtube.com.
2,000
Bustash.
Americans a day,
Bam.
we surged resources to New Jersey and New York,
See, I would
New
do it, bro,
Orleans,
but
and
I'm
Detroit.
about
We
to get
told the
drunk right
American
now,
people
man.
what needed to be done.
Well, do it before you get drunk.
Sacrifice.
God damn.
When the outbreak in the
Be
southern
proactive,
states
not
was
reactive.
again, Americans
I got.
stepped forward.
Yeah, send me a link, bro.
But
I
the
gotta
reality
go.
is,
I
the
got you,
President of the
son.
United States goes on. A vacancy on the Supreme Court of the United States
Damn, bro. I work
has come upon us, and the
too damn
President
long, bro.
introduced Judge Amy Coney
Yes,
Barrett.
thank you, Vice
But at
President.
that, if I may say, that Rose Garden event,
Bro, when she says stop talking, that means stop talking.
my wife Karen and I were there and honored to be there. Many of the people who were at that event, Susan, actually were tested for coronavirus.
He's still talking. This nigga is long-winded as
All of our
fuck.
scientists regularly.
Ah!
The difference here is President Trump and I trust the American people to make choices in the best interest of their health. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris consistently talk about mandates, and not just mandates with the coronavirus, but a government takeover of health care,
Thank you,
the
Vice
Green New
President.
Deal, all government control. We're about freedom and respecting the freedom of the American people.
Bro, by freedom, he means poverty.
You respect the American people when you tell them the truth. You respect the American people when you have the courage to be a leader speaking of those things that you may not want people to hear, but they need to hear so they can protect themselves. But this administration stood on information that if you had as a parent, if you had as a worker, knowing you didn't have enough money saved up, and now you're standing in a food line because of the ineptitude of an administration that was unwilling to speak the truth to the American people.
I mean, she got a point there, bro.
Caring about the American people have had to sacrifice far too much because of the incompetence of this administration. It is asking too much of the people.
Susan, we talked
No,
about
Vice
It is
President.
asking too much of the people.
Look-
That they would not be equipped with the information they
What-
need
What's
to
false?
help themselves to protect their parents
President-
and their
I'm
children.
sorry.
That the what?
19% of Americans would take the vaccine if Donald Trump
I'd like to
supported
get back to you on
it.
that. Dr. Anthony Fauci and other experts say
What did she say? What did he say?
they should be vaccinated.
That right there.
But half of Americans now say they wouldn't take a vaccine.
She said half of Americans.
If the Trump administration
But it's
approved
only
the vaccine
19% of
before or
Americans
after
say they would do it if Trump said it.
should Americans
19%.
If the public health commissioner, Dr. Fauci, if the doctors tell us that we should take it,
I'm not taking the fucking vaccine. I'm good.
that we should take it.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll take the fucking vaccine after medical experts back it. And I'm not talking politically motivated ones.
recent
I'm
days, the
talking ones
president's
fucking
diagnosis of COVID-19
independently funded fucking
of the job that you hold.
You know what? I'll take it when they give it to Barron Trump. When he gives it to his youngest son, then I'll take it.
One of you will make history on January 20th. You will be the vice
Actually, not even
president
though.
to the
No, because
oldest
they could
president
fucking
the
water
United
in his arm for all we
States
fucking know.
Donald
But
Trump
that's what I'm
is
saying.
4 years
Like,
old on Inauguration Day. Joe Biden will
ultimate fucking magic.
That already has raised concerns. about
Gaslighting at its finest.
Concerns that have been sharpened by President Trump's hospitalization in recent days. Vice President Pence, have you had a conversation or reached an agreement with President Trump about safeguards or procedures when it comes to the issue of presidential disability? And if not,
The dude doesn't keep his mask on for
you have 2
shit.
minutes without interruption.
Well, Susan, thank you, although I would like to go
Okay,
back.
well, we should probably
I
like
think we need to
that
move
now,
on.
right?
Well,
There's an
thank
issue
you, but
about
I would like to go back
Because we're talking about that vaccine.
because
So,
I don't agree with the mask policy either, but like,
wait, what did they say about the vaccine? Because you said something when it said
they're gonna get a vaccine in under a year.
oh shit, I thought it was under 2 years. Vaccine schedule for coronavirus.
Everybody else is saying not that low.
Yeah,
Everybody
dude.
else is saying fucking like it's gonna be safe in like summer of 2021.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, even the last epidemic we had, they said lasted over a year. So I mean, we should expect this one to last about the same, and or even longer since we've done less to handle it.
vaccine, Senator, in record time, in unheard of time, in less than a year.
And generally, when you speed shit up, you're gonna make
phase
mistakes.
clinical trial. And we're right now producing tens of millions of doses. So the fact that you continue to undermine public confidence in a vaccine, if the vaccine emerges during the Trump administration, I think is unconscionable. And Senator, I just ask you, stop playing politics with people's lives.
It's funny that Republicans would talk about playing politics with people's
That's
lives.
actually a good point, though. Did you hear what he's saying?
And it will have the capacity to
That he
save
attributed
countless
the numbers
American
of
lives.
swine flu
And
happening in
your
East Friday,
continuous undermining
that the death
of
tolls would be like
confidence
2
in the
million.
vaccine it's just unacceptable. And let me also say, the reality is when you talk
The
about
key fact is it
failure
has
in this
gotten 2 million.
administration,
He just
you
talks
actually do
slow,
know
but
what
he is
failure looks
still
like in a pandemic.
just going on.
It was 2009. The swine flu arrived in the United States. Thankfully, it ended up not being as lethal as the coronavirus. But before the end of the year, when Joe Biden was vice president of the United States, not 7.5 million people contracted the swine flu.
Are y'all hungry or something?
60 million Americans contracted the swine flu.
60 million people caught the swine flu? Let me check that.
2009, when Joe Biden was vice president, we would have lost 2 million American lives. His own chief of staff, Ron Klain, would say last year that it was pure luck that they did, quote, everything possible wrong. And we learned from that. They left the strategic national stockpile empty. They left an empty and hollow plan, but we
Thank
still
you, Vice
learned
President.
from it. And I think
Vice
the American
President,
people, I'm going to say again, can be
Vice
proud
President Pence, I'm sorry.
of what we have done. And Senator, please.
Thank you.
Only 151,700 to 575,400 people died from the swine flu worldwide.
Or reached an agreement with Vice President.
So he has no
about
precedence there.
safeguards or procedures when it comes to the issue of presidential disability. And if not, and if you win the election next year,
He said 60 million people died.
You want me to make it or are you gonna make it?
I mean, 60 million people were infected. No, yes. You know what? We don't run on ifs. We run on facts. The fact is that that's not the case. And the fact is that
Also, they would have handled the swine flu differently.
right.
As fucking lethal as the coronavirus.
Exactly. Because back then we had a Democratic majority in the fucking House and the Senate. So what the fuck?
The call from Joe Biden. It was actually a Zoom
A stimulus bill would have passed like that.
asking me to serve with him on this ticket was probably one of the most memorable days of my life. I thought about my mother, who came to the United States at the age of 19, gave birth to me at the age of 25.
Is she about to? Let's see what she gonna do. She Canadian, y'all. Don't let her fool you.
Sitting here right now, I know you make her proud.
No, she's fucking Canadian. Look at where she went to school and all that. Like, look at her childhood, bro. Okay, her childhood is not a black childhood. She was raised in Canada. She went to private school, and she didn't have that. Her own father says that she did not have a black experience.
That included being elected the first woman district attorney in San Francisco, where I created model.
But that's the thing she's using to try to get votes. If she wasn't using it, I wouldn't say it.
The first woman of color and black woman to be elected Attorney General of the state of California, where I ran the second largest Department of Justice in the United States.
Putting parents in jail.
United States Department of Justice. And there I took on everything from transnational criminal organizations to the big banks that were taking advantage of homeowners to for-profit colleges that were...
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, she does not have a typical black experience.
The United States Senate is only the second black woman ever elected to the United States.
Because I literally looked it up. You can literally look at it.
Entire life.
Yes.
That she never dealt with any racism. Going to private school.
Her dad was a Stanford University professor. Her mom was a biologist. She was raised in private school and went to school in Canada in the 60s. That's not what we're talking about. You're distracting me from my video unless you want to be on it.
4 years that we have seen Donald Trump unifying our country.
Yes, it is.
thank you, Senator Harris.
There's no rich black people.
President Trump, your Vice President.
I don't know. She's distracting me and really fucking with me. So I'm trying to fucking make my video. No, she's the opposite of every black American, just about.
Misleading answers or refuse to answer basic questions about health. And my question,
I said just about. I said just about. And I didn't make any ultimatums or anything like that. I'm saying that she's almost 60, right? She's not lived the typical black experience. Yes, she's married to a white dude. She does white things. She acts like a white person. You are white.
How moved we've all been. by the outpouring
Right.
of prayers and concern.
It's like Barack Obama trying to claim black. He ain't black either.
Dramatic of the prayers and the concern that have ushered forth.
Interesting. He never really.
Do you take away people's blackness because they have money
But the care
and
the
they're
president
not
received
struggling?
at Walter Reed Hospital,
I don't want to make this video with you here if you're gonna keep doing that shit.
transparency that they
Because you're not even
So
fucking
they can comment
listening.
to you, but if I say something
No, you're not even like here. It's distracting from the.
of their president.
You can hear the questions. You're not even here. Can you like?
Was more than a little moved by the broad and bipartisan support. And Senator, I want to thank you and Joe Biden for your expressions of genuine concern. And I also want to congratulate you, as I did on that phone call, on the